on the station. I never back down, I'm an inspiration.
Alrighty, so the switch panel for the car came in. I got the ARC model 8000D. Let's see what's in the box. Eight switches. Comes with Velcro on the back. It also comes with straps, I think, so you can mount it to a cage. Mine, I think, is going to go on the dash near the radio. What else is in here? Comes with the stickers, white and black stickers. Oh, they're upside down. Whoops. For those directions showing how to mount it and whatnot. This, I threw this in the box. This is my other radiator mount I was waiting on. Comes with the relays and fuses, all replaceable. So if something blows, you can replace it. Power wire already on there. It comes with the ribbon cable, all the connectors, and the wiring. Okay, so I figured out where I wanted to put the relay board, and I mounted it in here behind the radio, or where the radio goes. And what I had to do is I had to cut out a piece of sheet metal in a square. Pull it out here. The same shape as the relay board, because I didn't want that surface in there isn't flat, and I didn't want the relay board to bend while trying to secure to the chassis in there. So I made a flat plate that mounted to that, and then the relay board, since it only has holes in the sides, it mounts to there. So it's got center holes mounted to the chassis on the plate below, and then the 4 holes are mounted with the self-tapper screws they send, like so. You can see one there, one over here, and one in the back. So, and then the main power cord's here. It'll get zip tied along somewhere. But there's still plenty of room to get in here and, you know, screw wires on there, whatnot. I can even do all the back ones. I can do it without my head being. There we go. Yeah, I can do all these. I can change the fuses and relays. So that's that. I got that thing in there. I can start figuring out some of the wire. So the red cable that comes attached to the relay board, which is the power feed, I got that ran the same way that the other wires come through. I need to put some loom on it and then crimp the end and put that on the distribution block. But that's how that ran. It ended up being long enough for where that sits right now. Had I known it was that length, I would have maybe asked to have it a little longer for obviously a little more cost. But I didn't feel like taking that thing all apart just to extend the wire. I made it work with what I got. So that thing's ran, got it in place. Now I can try to start figuring out some of these wires and how this switch panel is going to mount. Okay, so what I'm doing now is the Branger's wiring harness had it had a loom, and it said 2 wires with battery positive and 1 was ignition switch. And so I got 3 wires which are going to come from the ARC 8000. That way I can turn the ECU on, and the ignition, and the starter. Well, the starter's going to be another wire, but so I've put them in some loom. I've got some heat shrink I'm about to put over it, and then I'll put some ends on it and whatnot. But that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, so I kind of figured out, I kind of answered one of my own questions. That plug that said battery positive, and ignition switch. 2 of the wires I ended up making a separate loom and ran up here to the battery positive bus bar. And because they already have relays and fuses on them, in the fuse box. That's what those relays and fuses are. The ignition switch wire runs over here and comes to this. And that's what I can turn on to power the ECU, the ignition, the injectors, all that stuff. And then I have my fuel pump wire that I need to route over there to turn the fuel pump on. And then I have the starter wire I have to run. Okay, so I made a starter wire. Started putting it together. It's just a single wire. It's just sitting in here right now. It'll go from that relay board, basically the starter button, and it'll go down to the starter inside here once the starter's installed. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the end on it. Brand new from Toyota. I believe that's the part number. If you need a new clip or pin, whatever this thing is called, plug. So I couldn't film it and do it at the same time, but crimp it like you would any other thing. Obviously put the seal on the wire first before you crimp the end on, and then you push it in here and it'll clip in. And then this little white piece, I think you push this in to lock it in. And you can unclip that if you have to undo it. I tested it out and I unclipped it and everything, so it still comes apart if you need it to. But got the new starter wire made. So that'll just sit in here. And then the other side I'll route over to the relay switchboard and I'll land that. Okay, so I got that blue wire that I use for my starter hooked up to relay 1, and then relay 2 is the ECU, ignition, fuel injectors, power wire that goes over to the trigger, the ECU and everything to come on. And then the battery positive wires on those on that plug-in, they both go up to the front. I gotta put eyelets on those, but I think I'll do that tomorrow. Alright, so got some stuff, came in, some sheets of ABS plastic, some pretty thin stuff, and then I got a battery tray as well for the trunk. This is the old radio bezel I made because my factory one was broken in pieces when I got it, and it got broken worse every time we pulled it out. So we made the sheet metal one, and then I just put some cheap sticker pack on it, but you know, some funny stickers that everyone always like to comment about when they got in the car. It's always fun stuff, but good memories with it. But it's kind of made a little raggedy, and I don't need certain things on there anymore, like this AFR gauge hole and stuff like that. So I traced out, of course I drew it with black, it's kind of hard to see. I traced that out, and I'm going to cut it and get it in here and try to make a nice new, it'll probably be this side, the nice shiny side that gets towards the outside, but we'll see. But this is going to be the new radio bezel, because I'm not paying for a stupid wood grain radio bezel that's overly priced and ridiculous looking. So my old setup, this button here, or the switch, would turn the screen on, and I have a relay and fuse and stuff, everything behind here. But since I've got the new switch panel going in, I'm just gonna take all the relay and stuff out from back here and just run the power wire to here instead. So that way it'll just be a button over on this stuff. So I've been working on the radio bezel area, or tombstone as it's called. And so if this is the progress so far, I'll probably keep it black. I need to get a weather seal that'll go around here and kind of seal it all up. Got the climate control all mounted to it. Had to make like custom deals for that. The switch panel is velcroed on. There's a hole back here for the wires to come through. I haven't run the wires through yet. The relay board is mostly wired up, as you guys have already seen. Radio's sitting in here. I had to shave it's not actually on here and everything right now. I just kind of have it sitting in here. But I had to shave the trim because it was such a tight fit for the switch panel to go on here between the climate control and the radio itself. I'm in the middle of making this right now, the shifter surround with the plastic. I can show you guys how this comes off. careful not to break that. It's kind of a mess in here. Okay, so it's pretty simple. And then it peels off. So pretty much I made like some L brackets and super glued them, and then I put these little plastic pins and super glued those in. Got those on there. Not the best and most ideal way of mounting something, but it works. And then as far as the spots in here, I basically just made some double layered 90-degree pieces out of the ABS plastic, and that's where these things are. None of these are tightened yet. I'll have to tighten them up once I get them all at the right depths and everything, and put some Loctite on them so they can't come loose. But not too bad. The wiring's redone, so now this switch here turns on this whole switch panel relay thing, and then one of these buttons turns on the screen. One's for fuel pump so far, one's for starter, ignition, and then there's another one for ignition, ECU power, and all that stuff. Got some new lights for the garage. I'm gonna order some more pretty soon, just some basic Amazon LED bars. I'm gonna get some more so when the garage is closed that I'll have 6 more that go around, make a giant square.
I say hello, 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 hello. You can't do what I do, that's just something you don't. I make this look easy from the way that I told. On dimension, I be turning suckers to ghosts. I be like Rock the Great One, I lay a smack down when I'm on the station. I never